Okay, let's start going into the chakras here. So the first chakra is called the root chakra. Each chakra has a spiritual truth, okay? I am safe. I am supported. I belong. I belong. You know, how many of us sometimes we isolate and we don't feel like we belong because we have this or that going on in our life or whatever, you know? So the first chakra is all about belonging and feeling safe. The false belief is, I can't trust anyone. I have to control everything in my environment. So, you know, for instance, it takes a lot of energy to control our environment. We're not meant to do that. It takes a lot of energy to control other people. We're not meant to do that. We're not meant to change other people. We're not meant to control other people. But we do it mostly on an unconscious level because we don't feel safe. You know, we just don't feel safe or supported. So that's a big responsibility to try to control everything in our environment. The location is the spine, the bones, the legs. Now, let me just tell y'all something about the chakras. We're just hitting the tip of the iceberg here. I'm just telling you a little bit about these things. You know, you can go more into reading about them. I'm in the process. My husband and I are writing a book. It's called The Children of the Chakras, The Return to Self-Love. Okay, so, you know, sciatica, spinal conditions. This is all about trust. It's all about trust. And a lot of times, you know, on the extreme, children that come from orphanages or parents' divorce, frequent moves, you know, having a lot of moves, children going to new schools and everything's different. And, you know, there may be kind of like a shakiness of feeling I belong and I'm safe. Okay, second chakra, the sacral chakra. I am co-creator with the divine. I experience abundance in my life. A false belief is I will never have enough. There are actually some of us that have plenty enough, but our perception is fear, scarcity, and lack. So the biggest thing that prevents is peace of mind. Peace of mind. It includes the lower abdomen, the reproductive organs, the intestines, the bladder, OBGYN problems, infertility, chronic low back pain. So, you know, just a case in particular, sexual abuse, may have recurrent UTIs. You know, there are other things related, but if you keep feeling better and then things keep coming back, that's when you want to look a little bit further, okay? It's not about having one thing and then you never have it again. It's about recurrent things in your life that need to be looked at from an emotional level as well. And you know, what I have seen with this one in particular is that this area is where we co-create with the divine. And it's where the artist begins. Creation, you know, things that you like to do and enjoy and create on your own. That's where all this begins. And, you know, words that are said when we were younger, even if we have forgotten about it, it affects the sensitive, artistic child. All right? So beliefs form, you can't make a living painting. You can't make a living playing that guitar. You can't, you know? And then what happens is a suppression of those beautiful artistic gifts. That's what happens. They get suppressed. And then that particular person cannot express their gifts because they were told something different. Now, we're told things, but if we believe it is a different thing. Sometimes the rebellious child is the winner. Because heck, if I'm going to believe that, I'm going to go do my own thing. You know, we don't really care for the rebellious, you know, we like the nice, sweet kids, but the rebellious children a lot of times will just do that. I don't believe that. He says, I can never make a living at drawing, or I can never make a living at playing this guitar, and I believe I can. So, you know, I'm just bringing all this stuff up because we all are creators on this earth, and our soul has a passion and a purpose. And sometimes this density within us is preventing the flow of that creation to come through out into the world. And it is my heart's desire to help, to assist people in awareness of that, in uncovering that, so that you can flow with your created talents, gifts, and abilities, your purpose, and your passion in the world. Okay, third chakra, solar plexus. The spiritual truth is, I am enough. I am the worthiness of the divine. Self-respect and confidence. That's where confidence is, and taking care of yourself. Right there in the solar plexus. False belief, I must seek validation, approval from others by trying to please them. Now, just to let you know, most of this is on an unconscious level that I see. We're walking around not even realizing. But this particular chakra is the big one that I see in my practice, because I see mostly women, and women get lost in the giving. We give and we give, and we get lost in the giving. And what I mean by that is we forget about ourselves. And so everybody else is put first. And when you come to a place of making that sacred space for yourself, you will hear your soul, your intuition, the divine speak to you about that, about asking yourself the why. Why do I feel like I have to work myself to the bone, or give? And a lot of people come in here and they're exhausted, just exhausted, and I have to give adrenal fatigue support and stuff like that. And the thing about it is it's all about serving yourself first. Ouch, that's kind of hard for women to do sometimes. You know, because we're kind of the hub, right? And we got all these little spokes around us, right, that we're giving out to. So it's just an awareness of that, ladies. When you get tired, when you're fatigued and you're giving and giving, get in your sacred space, get in your quiet time, instead of blaming. The blame game is over. We're going into a different place now. And what I mean by the blame game is we're blaming everybody else. I have to do this for this one, and that for this one, and this for this one. You give your power away when you say it sounds like somebody else is controlling you. Think of your energy as almost a checking account, okay? Where you know, when you do your balancing your checking account, you know where things are going. I'm going to give this to the, utility bill. I'm going to give this to the water bill and all this. So you're very conscious and aware. I will challenge you to do the same thing with your precious energy. Be aware of where it's going, and know that you have a choice, a free will. You have a choice, a free will, whether to give it out or not. And you're not a bad person if you say no and you put yourself first. It's a good thing. It's a healthy, balanced thing. So I'm going to put this out here. Y'all have heard it. The blame game is over. Okay? Take your power back. Take your power back. Can't blame anymore. If you don't want to do it for somebody, just kindly say, I can't do it. I don't have the energy today. Okay? With love. All right. The reason I feel so passionate about this one is because, of course, I've experienced myself being a nurse and a physician. And I see a lot of women who are right in the middle of this. So between the sternum and the belly button, the adrenal glands, the pancreas, the liver, the stomach, the kidneys, diabetes, and adrenal function. Okay. The only person that can give you validation, and you will get it from other people, but not to go out there and spend your energy looking for it, is yourself. You give yourself validation. That is true empowerment. And that's when the healing begins. That's when the true healing begins at a physical level as well. Caregivers, nurses, mothers, teachers, they kind of have the little one, I call the little child in this chakra, is screaming to be heard. When a person comes to me over here and they tell me all of their symptoms, the body's screaming to be heard. Okay? And so that's why we have to go backwards and look at why it's screaming.